Hello, everyone. Jim Biringer here, NHLRumors.com. Welcome back to another video. We're talking about a New York change of mind, New York state of mind, Billy Joel song. I'm in a New York change of mind. Now, the New York Islanders, New York Rangers making a lot of changes in the metro area as the New Jersey Devils are in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's break it down. The New York Islanders made news on Tuesday as they're not renewing the contract of general manager and team president Lou Lamoriello. Now, Lamoriello's been there since 2018. He's brought respect to this organization after what happened with Gar Snow, Mike Milbury, so on and so forth. Though that team was progressing under Gar Snow, the John Tavares era, Doug Waite was a coach as well. You know, obviously everything that happened with Charles Wong. They get into back-to-back conference finals in 2020, 2021. But those were shortened seasons. They didn't really make a run in the 82-game regular season. And the coaching styles and philosophies, he moves on for Barry Trotz. His assistant doesn't really work out well, Lane Lambert. You bring in Patrick Waugh. And the team got older. And the team got slower. And they didn't get younger and faster. And that's what the Islanders needed to do. And the writing was on the wall. Last year, there, according to RG, as written there, sources had told me that if it had not been for the playoff appearance, Lou Lamoriello had been gone last year. People got outvoted, and here we are. Ownership has decided to step in. Scott Malkin, we see John Collins, everybody, Ledecky as well, decided that it was the best change of direction. They didn't fire him, relieve him of his duties. They're just not renewing his contract whenever that starts. And it probably is happening already. Chris Lamoriello not there as well. And the Islanders, let's be honest, took steps back instead of forward. Yeah, the Bo Horvat trade's great. You have Matt Barzal there, Ilya Sorokin, okay. You have Noah Dobson. But the Anthony Duclair signing, not great. You needed goal scoring. You didn't get goal scoring. You didn't get faster. This team has progressively gotten worse. And how is it that win and get in? That's not really a good mentality to have when they've lost a couple times now in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And they haven't looked good either. So change was necessary, and I'm going to say this. Look, Lou Lamoriello, what he's done for the game is great. But he won those 3 Stanley Cups pre-salary cap era. He hasn't really handled the salary cap well. He's still stuck in his old ways. He believes like third and fourth lines, all what he does, internal cap, even as the cap rises, he doesn't want to pay players. There's a reason why guys don't want to go to the island. Even though they're in on all the conversations, nobody wants to sign there because of Lou's rules. And from people I've spoken with, he's had a little bit too much control on how things get marketed, the media, everything like that. So I think it was a time for the Islanders to make a change. And they're going to have to get younger. They talked about it, that, hey, the trade that Lamoriello made for Brock Nelson was great, but then you kept Kyle Palmieri. Maybe extension for him. Kept John Gabriel Pageau. Okay, what does it mean for them? What does it mean for Patrick Waugh, who he brought in? There's going to be a new GM. Did they mesh? Patrick Waugh and Lou Lamoriello did not mesh whatsoever. We all know it. We all saw it. The comments he made about certain guys on that roster, Pierre Engvall being one of them, and here we are. And Lou Lamoriello, look, what he did, the tail end of his time in New Jersey is the same situation that's happening on with the Islanders. Just relying on the same old playbook that won 3 cups. And instead of rebuilding a year earlier or after a run, he just decided to wait till it was too late. And he doesn't really believe in a rebuild. And that's another problem. And yes, everybody said, oh, look what he did in Toronto. Let's be honest. In Toronto, it was a 3-headed monster with Kyle Dubas, Brendan Shanahan, and Lou Lamoriello. It was just a figurehead. And that's what people have told me, and I believe it. So the Islanders have a lot of choices to go down the road now. And now it's not just the Islanders, right? And it seems like they're ahead of the game. You have the New York Rangers, too. Head coach Peter Laviolette fired. Phil Housley fired. Chris Drury seems to be there as the GM, but he's still talking to James Dolan about what's next. Does he really, or should he have the power to hire another head coach? That's 3 coaches now in 4 years for the Rangers. Like, how many kicks to can are they going to get till they get it right? And they're going to recycle another guy that they bring in, and and they respond in year 1, and what happens in year 2? Like, you got to stop hot-shotting things here for the New York Rangers. They made a mistake when they let Jeff Gordon and John Davidson go, who were building things. James Dolan wanted a hot-shot championship, listened to some people on the outside, and is paying for mistakes. And there's a lot of mistakes. Players are responsible, management's responsible, coaching is responsible. Everybody needs to take blame for what happened this season. Those issues start and go back several years. Gerard Gallant talked about the talent and the hard work and the effort. The Rangers, according to Mika Zibanejad, they need communication throughout the entire organization. Players need to know what management's thinking, and vice versa. That's not the case. Players play, managers manage, coaches coach. Players need to know what the coaches are thinking. The game plan come from the organization. If you want to be a manager, that's fine. There's too much entitlement and too much country club going on with the New York Rangers. That's one. Two, there's going to be discussions about Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, Keandre Miller, everybody in between. They're going to discuss what's going on with this team, who's going to be there, the players moving forward, the young players that they messed up on, the young players that are being messed up right now. The drafting and developing has to be better. They mismanaged so many players. And it's going to be interesting to see where they go and what direction they take with the head coach. And do they make the adjustments after the head coach is brought in or before the head coach is brought in? There's a lot of discussion here. And the Rangers have to look themselves in the mirror, and they have no one to blame but themselves for what happened this year. And it's a tale that's old as time. Just play the right way. And look, the Rangers needed cap space. Chris Kreider not on LTIR. He has a back injury the whole year. There's an issue. He has a hand injury after 4 Nations, plays through it. My friend Barclay Goodrow, the way they mishandled Jacob Trouba, mistreated Jacob Trouba. Oh, we're just going to let that affect our play after a 12-5-1 start. That's not how teams win in this league. You have to let little things go. You have to let the managers do their thing, whether you agree with it or not. You can't let it affect your play on the ice. And there was a mutiny inside that organization. The players sabotaged the season, tried to save it when it was too late. There was just too many distractions from Igor Shesterkin to Alexis Lafreniere, Jacob Trouba, the letter with Kreider and Zibanejad, and all that in between. They let it affect their play. They didn't handle things maturely. Peter Laviolette paid the price. We all knew it was coming. Now let's see what they do with some of their players, who they hire. Maybe not Joel Quenneville. Doesn't sound like it's going to be David Carl. What direction do they go in? Because how many people want to coach in that city right now for that team with a volatile owner like James Dolan? And a GM that's probably on the hot seat next season. So some interesting things going on in New York with the New York Rangers and the New York Islanders. It's really a New York change of mind, not a New York state of mind. Jim Biringer, NHLRumors.com. We'll be back again real soon. Take care.